Hello students, I am Kuntala Bhattacharya from Rabindra Bharati University, Kolkata. Today we will be discussing Ācārya Dharmakīrti's view on momentariness. The doctrine of momentariness, Kshanikatva Vada, is an integral part of the Buddhist doctrine of non-substantiality, that is Nairatmya Vada. So let us briefly explain the concept of Nairatmya Vada. For the orthodox schools of Indian philosophy, self, the referent of the word I, is an entity distinct from the body, the mind, and the sense faculties. It is enduring, survives bodily death, and transmigrates to the next life. Self is also sometimes understood as consciousness per se, and sometimes as the seat of consciousness, pleasure and pain. In order to establish that there is no self in such traditional sense of the term, the Buddhists adopt a method involving deconstruction of concepts. That is, what is understood as I, that is the concept I, is dissolved into 5 collections or skandha, namely matter, rupa, sensation or feeling, vedana, perception, sanya, impression, sanskara, and consciousness, vijnana. As the name collection suggests, each collection comprises several members, and these members are referred to as dharmas. A dharma is, by definition, something which retains its unique character. In more non-technical terms, a dharma refers to the fundamental factors that are thought to constitute experience. After dissolving the self into dharmas, the next step a Buddhist takes in order to deny the existence of self is to show that none of the dharmas correspond to self in the traditional sense of the term. A part of this program consists in demonstrating that each of the dharmas is impermanent. The idea is, since each of the constituents of the self is impermanent, and since there is no whole over and above its parts, there is no enduring self. Now, early Buddhism was represented by 2 major schools, the Vaibhashika and the Sautrantika. For the Vaibhashika school, dharmas can be of 2 kinds, conditioned, Sanskrita, and unconditioned, asanskrita. Conditioned dharmas are created by the combination of causes and conditions and can be categorized into 5 collections mentioned before. Unconditioned dharmas are not due to any causes and conditions and are eternal. The conditioned dharmas are impermanent, but they are related to all the 3 time orders, adva, past, present and future. Vaibhashikas are called Sarvastivadins in this sense. Literally, the term Sarvastivadin refers to those philosophers who hold that everything exists. In this context, however, it means that everything exists in all the 3 times. If conditioned things exist in all the 3 times and yet they are impermanent, the question now arises, how could change be explained? In his Abhidharmakosha, Vasubandhu refers to 4 different explanations of change according to Sarvastivadins. The first view is Bhavya Anyathatvya Vada. This view was held by Bhadanta Dharmatrata, and the view is that the condition or bhava changes though the thing remains the same. The second view is Lakshana Anyathatva Vada. This view was held by Bhadanta Ghoshaka, and it says that past, present and future are the 3 characteristics or lakshana of a thing. A thing is called past, present or future according to predominance of a specific characteristic. The third view is Avastha Anyathatva Vada. Bhadanta Vasumitro, who held this view, says that when a dharma passes through 3 time orders, its mode or avastha changes. The fourth view of Bhadanta Buddha Deva is called Anyatha Anyathikatvavada. This view says that a single dharma is termed past, present, or future with respect to its relation to other dharmas. Now, among these explanations, Vasubandhu favors Avastha Anyathikatvavada of Bhadanta Vasumitra, which explains 3 time orders of a dharma with reference to its activity or karitra. The Sautrantika school remodeled this view into their theory of momentariness. It becomes possible for them because existence of a thing according to this view is identified with its activity. It is interesting to note that the notion of activity or karitra later on assumed the form of causal efficacy or arthakriya-karitva or arthakriya-samarthya in Dharmakīrti's conception of the real existent, that is Sat. Now, in this transition from impermanence to momentariness, the Sautrantikas not only argued from the perspective of activity, but also made use of one of the fundamental marks of conditioned dharma, namely cessation, vinasha. In fact, momentariness is defined in terms of cessation. Vasubandhu writes, "What is this moment? Immediate cessation upon having obtained existence. What exists in this fashion is momentary." The argument is as follows. The Vaibhashikas agree that all conditioned dharmas are subject to cessation. Now, though an existent thing is brought about through causes and conditions, its cessation being of the nature of absence cannot be brought about through causes and conditions. A conditioned dharma perishes spontaneously. Now, if cessation is spontaneous, it must happen immediately. For if a conditioned dharma does not cease to exist immediately after its origination, then the cessation will not be due to the conditioned dharma itself, but due to some external cause. Cessation, however, cannot have a cause. Therefore, conditioned dharmas perish at the next moment of its origination. This doctrine of momentariness was accepted by all the later Buddhist philosophical schools.